We didn't have the introduction like we normally do. It just started right in this restaurant where Ron and Corey, were talking about the show. And
ever since the beginning of the series, I had expressed a desire to do one entire act that was a continuous scene. And this was the first and only time that we managed to do that, but it was something that I had wanted to do, and I'm glad that we got the opportunity to try it. I thought it worked out very nicely.
Yeah, that's where we met Avery and how much of a kooky character that she is.
This was the first time that Avery actually appeared on the show with us. We were happy to have her. She had originally been scheduled to be in episode 4 and was not able to at the last moment. So it was nice to bring her in playing the waitress, which was intended to become a recurring part and did recur one other time in the series.
The running joke was that she was always popping up somewhere doing some sort of job, and only Ron seems to recognize her. Nobody else recognizes this person except for Ron.
She did a good job, and it was funny to see how tough Ron's life can be just every day, not with just Beverly, but, going out to places and trying to order something and then, oh no, this doesn't happen. He had a really hard time, so it was good that later on, Beverly warmed up to him because Ron deserved a break.
So Corey and I go to a restaurant together, and we're waiting for Beverly to show up, and I'm just starving, and I mentioned it several times. I can't wait to eat. I can't wait to eat. And of course, I do have to wait because I have to wait for Beverly to show up. And then once she shows up, I have to wait for her to figure out what she wants. And then once she figures out what she wants, then they don't have anything that I order, and the waitress keeps coming back.
We do bring in skits because they're talking about a skit and they actually go through one. And this is another moment where you guys can see my bad ability to do accents. It's something I still need to work on. But I would, go from Italian to like Irish and to British back and forth. And so I was like, okay, I'm not going to get this. So I was like, why don't we just play it that it's like Corey's quirkiness, which was good. It kind of saved my rear. But that was really fun, and to have that cool little restaurant down there.
I have the menus right here that we used at the restaurant. So, very nice. And you can see the inside of them corresponds very well to what I was actually served at the restaurant. So, very appropriate. Good prices, though, however.
Oh yeah, I got a promotion. I essentially am in charge of marketing, so I pretty much ended up being the person to telling Ron what to do on this show. Of course, I already did that in real life, so it was an easy transition on screen.
Technically, we had trouble with the scene, which is disappointing because in every other way, it was so good. It was well written. It was well acted. Unfortunately, the day of the restaurant shoot, we did not have a dedicated audio person on location with us. So we really had to just kind of set it the best we could and then go and do our parts. And there was no way for us to go back and reshoot. So we had to use the footage as is. So I do apologize for that. I hope it does not detract too much from your enjoyment of what is otherwise a really funny and well played out scene.
I remember when I first got the, casting call for it on Craigslist, I replied and was informed later that I was the first to reply, and it was really suiting because pretty much every female that was on the show was a redhead except for one guest. And it just was suiting that I would play Amanda's sister.
The restaurant scene also features the last appearance on the show by Shannon O'Brien, who had actually recorded her spot earlier because she was leaving the show, and so we had got her to do that ahead of time. And so we see her for the last time as I talk to her there.
So this episode, we're also introduced to Areana's character, Adrian. This is the first time I got to meet Areana, and I'm glad we did because we now have a really good friendship, and we're still pretty close working together. But I remember we were all kind of in a scramble because Shannon could unfortunately no longer do the show.
Knowing that losing Amanda was going to be a major loss, it really created a gaping hole in what we had going. And so I knew I had to get somebody in that spot. And I had put out another casting call. And one of the first responses I got was from Areana Serena.
It was fortunate that Areana had submitted to the show, and she was a redhead, which was perfect to play off as her sister. And it was the first time we got to meet her. Actually, it was on set filming. None of us had met her before, and it worked out really well. We all kind of clicked instantly and had good chemistry, and there was just a natural flow to Areana and her performance as that character.
So I'm reading this email from Areana, and she describes herself as a fiery redhead. And I think, there's no need to look any further. This is the person we need for the show. And I did something that I had never done before and would not be likely to do again. And I literally finished reading this email, and I called her on the phone and I said, "You have the part if you want it."
Anything this professional, it's the first time I did something like this. And behind the scenes, I was busting up laughing. It was really amazing, though, just how much I clicked with all the characters when we started filming. And I thought that was a big blessing.
Gotta hand it to Areana. She really just walked in and did her thing and did it well and just became a part of our group straight off the bat. And like, hands down to her, she is amazing at what she does. And I always felt that she fitted in better with us than Shannon did, because she became a part of our group.
And even managed to correct me a few times along the way or feed me lines. I was a little bit known for not always being completely ready at showtime.
And there's a point where he got stuck, and I kind of cued him his own lines. Yeah. I believe that followed with Dylan saying, "Oh, the newbie's showing you up, Ron."